Well, Russia has been pushing the EU to accept its vaccine for some time, but it didn't actually make an application for EMA approval until today. We had a weird situation a couple weeks ago where Russia was saying, oh, we did apply, and pointed journalists to an uploaded document to a website that had nothing to do with the EMA. We don't know what that delay was about, but now the application has come. Interestingly, it's come from a German entity, not the Russian entity. That appears to be because Russia is planning to produce its vaccine for the European market at German production facilities. That's important because the EU had said that in order to grant approval, it would need access to the facilities making this vaccine. And there was always a big question about whether Russia would grant that for facilities in Russia. So this is just the start of the review process. We have absolutely no indication that this approval is going to come anytime soon. It contrasts very starkly with what the EMA said when they received an application from Johnson & Johnson last month. The EMA immediately came out with a timetable for approval. They said they hope to approve in mid-March. Indeed, it does look like we're going to get approval by the EMA for the Johnson & Johnson vaccine next Thursday. There was no such timetable with this announcement from the EMA. I think there's still a lot of caution about this vaccine, but this does get the ball rolling and opens the prospect of EU-wide use of this vaccine.
And a lot of EU-wide use. We're talking 50 million doses eventually. How much more is that than the other amounts of vaccine that are being spread out across the EU?
Well, at the moment, there is one country already using the Sputnik vaccine, and that's Hungary. Any EU country is free to grant emergency use approval to any vaccine before the European Medicines Agency gives its green light, and Hungary has opted to do so for Sputnik. It's the only EU country that's chosen to do that so far, but some other countries, including Czechia and Slovenia, were making noises that they wanted to follow Hungary's lead because they can see Hungary is doing quite well with giving out vaccinations. But there is still a lot of reticence about this vaccine, and that's why there's a lot of question marks about whether, even if it did receive EMA approval, a lot of countries would want to embrace it. Commission President Ursula von der Leyen questioned last month why Russia is pushing to export this vaccine so intently when it's doing so poorly in vaccinating its own citizens. Russia has only vaccinated 3.6% of its population. That's way worse than the EU average. So there's still a lot of reticence here, and I think that will continue even if the EMA gives its approval. And most notably, the EMA approval does not mean that the vaccine will join the EU joint procurement program. A Commission spokesperson said today there is still no plan for the EU to jointly procure these doses.
Dave, thanks for that. France 24's Dave Keating there reporting from Brussels.